Hello, this is Burke Lyle here, and just want to talk some baseball. So last week they had the Hall of Fame election. Only one player got in, and that was Scott Rowland. A third baseman took him 6 years to get in. Now, granted, I put together a list of 9 players who I think should get in. It was Beltran, K-Rod. This is an order of election, eligibility. Jimmy Rollins, Todd Helton, Andrew Jones, Scott Rowland, Billy Wagner, Gary Sheffield, and Jeff Kent. The first player I'm going to go with, and it's going to be, this series is going to be players in order of eligibility, so Beltran. And look, obviously, you talk about the Astros scandal. He did not get in his first year. I think his vote was a little less than 50%. And I knew he wasn't going to get in. You just think about what he did in his career. I mean, he hit over 400 home runs, so that's power right there. Drove in over 1,500 RBIs, 300 bases, close to 3,000 hits. And granted, with Beltran, if he would have stayed just a little bit healthier, maybe could have 2009, 2010, kind of that phase of his career, missed some time of injury. Maybe if that had been in over 450 home runs, maybe could have gotten a little closer to 3,000 hits. But still, it's quite a career. And again, from 1999 through 2007, he was ranked 7th in MLB in total WAR. And among players that played primary center field, that's second behind only Andrew Jones. Again, you talk about all of the categories that he was in. You think about players that were on that list, other good center fielders of that era. Juan Pierre is pretty much a base stealer and could get hits, hit singles, steal bases. No players like that in today's game. Almost no power. Would be lucky if he hit a few home runs a year. Yeah, Johnny Damon was quite a good all-around center fielder. Again, got close to 3,000 hits. Fell off the ballot. I think was more deserving. His home runs, this is 99 through 2007. Fourth behind Ken Griffey Jr., who basically 99, 2000 start kind of that stretch where he was getting injured. You had Jim Edmonds, who I think is more deserving of the Hall of Fame than he was. And Andrew Jones. A lot more on Andrew Jones later. His RBI is second behind Andrew Jones. So again, you talk about the 2 best center fielders of that era, Hall of Fame caliber players. I would say that it's probably Beltran and Andrew Jones. His RBI is second behind Andrew Jones. Stolen bases, third behind Johnny Damon and Juan Pierre. And those guys were probably better base stealers than what Beltran was, and Beltran also won a couple center fielder, or won a couple Gold Gloves during his time as a center fielder. So again, Beltran, a really good all-around player. Now later on, he moved to right field, played that position with the Cardinals. Really after those injuries kind of slowed him down, and then the Yankees then kind of moved to DH in Houston. And that was his only World Series. But again, I would say that his best years, probably 99 through 2007, 2008 were probably his best years as a center fielder. Battled injuries and then kind of moved to right field. And then I'd say played at an all-star level. Sorry. Later on in his career, I'd say the Cardinals had some all-star years. Yankees had an all-star year, kind of had a good ending with the Yankees. Actually played for the Rangers briefly, and then last year in Houston. But his WAR 70 is 8th among center fielders, and again could have been a little higher, but he had some injuries in his early 30s. But again, the 7 players he trails: Joe DiMaggio, Hall of Famer; Mike Trout, Ken Griffey Jr., Mickey Mantle, Trish Speaker, Ty Cobb, Willie Mays. Think about that list. I mean, you mentioned Joe DiMaggio. Great center fielder in the 40s and 30s and 40s. Mike Trout, maybe the best player over the last decade, year in and year out. You could say who's the best player in baseball. Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr. battled a lot of injuries. If he didn't battle those injuries, then you wonder, he would be one of the game's best of the best, probably, like the very best. Mickey Mantle, great career, Hall of Fame career. You wonder what if if he was fully healthy. Just Speaker, really good hitter in the early 1900s. Ty Cobb, again, had baseball's hit record for a long, long time. And it was broken by Pete Rose. Cobb could also steal a lot of bases. Home run total for Ty Cobb, not as high again. Ty Cobb played during the dead ball era. And then Willie Mays, considered one of the greatest players, all-around players ever. So think about that company that Beltran's in. And every player in that list is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Mike Trout is going to be a Hall of Famer, no question. And Beltran, I think, should be a Hall of Famer based on what he's done in his career. And just looking at his best years, so I'd say it was fairly good in Kansas City. A bunch of 20-20 type seasons. In fact, he stole a lot of bases early in his career. Almost had a 40-40 caliber season. In fact, that's where his stolen bases came, was in Kansas City, and then still could steal 20-25 bases a year for the Mets for a while. I'd say his best years of the Mets were 2006 and 7. I'd say it was still good in 2008. That's when he won his Gold Gloves. It was 6 through 8. Those were probably his best years in New York, and then unfortunately struggled to stay on the field really struggled to play half of the season his last couple of years with the Mets. And then moved to right field. Yep. And then, according to this, pretty late, and then actually made a couple All-Star games with the Cardinals. Did okay on the Yankees. And then really made an All-Star appearances last year for the Yankees, and then Rangers, and then the Astros, and again, just a really good career. I mean, 300 steals, 400 home runs. Not many players have done that in their career. So you look at what Beltran was able to accomplish in his career. And I vote Beltran as a Hall of Famer. That Astro stuff, I understand that happened. But just looking at it, I'd say he should be in.